that being a democracy, and robustly so, that Kenyans must not, as has happened in the past, where Kenyans disappeared and their bodies were found in all manner of places, that will not happen under my administration. And all the people who disappeared or who were abducted in what you said, all of them have been brought back to their families and to their homes.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Dreams Updates. Thanks so much for great support. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much. If you're watching the video yet you have not subscribed, please subscribe the channel. Thank you so much for that subscription. So now, Kenyans, today, as we know, President Alexander Stubb was in State House and he's in Kenya for a 2-day state visit, marking 60 years of diplomatic relation between Finland and Kenya. So as today, Alexander Stubb of Finland was in State House today, there is several activities took part. And one of the activities now is lefting Kenyans with so many questions, in which now there is a time which now the president Alexander Stubb of Finland and our president, His Excellency William Samoei Ruto, they were having now the press interview. And this interview now, it came out causing Ruto a lot of problems. And now there is an international journalist whom come out and ask Ruto a very, very difficult question. And the question was about the abductions. So now Ruto came out and answered the question. He answered it very clearly, but there is somewhere Ruto lied very, very terribly. Because when he was asked about the abductions, aliulizwa that what afanya aje to minimize these abductions, and as the head of the country, how will you do, and what are the things and the principle will put in a place in order for these abductions that tunasikia hapa na pale ziweze kukoma. So Ruto came out clearly and answered. So when the Ruto was answering these questions, alisema that all the abductees all the abducted people wenye walikuwa abducted recent past days ati waliachiliwa, and now hakuna mtu yote mwenye atawahi kuwa abducted tena. So kutokana hapo, some of the questions now are coming out. Why did Ruto didn't tell us that who was that person abducting people? Yali come out tu na kutuambia that hakuna tena mwenye atakuwa abducted, and all the people who were abducted walishakuwa released kitambo. So the question is, mbona hakutuambia the person who has been abducting people, and ni nani huyo ako behind all these abductions? Because as we know, in early January 2025, 4 abductees, the first one was Billy Mwangi, Peter Muteti, Bernard Kavuli, and Ronnie Kiplagat, were released following public pressure. Additionally, 2 other individuals, Aslam and Jamil Longton, were released after being held for 32 days. So after that thing happened in early January, we can clearly see now Ruto is coming out to say that all the abductees were released and all of them are now at their places. Ndio walikuwa released, but the issue is, mbona Ruto hajatuambia who was abducting these individuals? So now you can clearly see that during the press conference today at the State House, President William Ruto stated that all Kenyans who have been reported missing under suspicious circumstances had been released safely, reunited with their families. But the question is, he did not provide details on the exact number of people who were initially abducted or the specific number who were released. Yeye alisema tu that all the abductees were being released. Hivyo tu. But haku come out clearly kusema that specific number, how were the people abducted, how much were the people abducted, and hakusema that wali abductiwa na nani. Yali come out tu na kusema that they have been released safely and reunited with their families. So that thing is bringing out a lot of questions, because as a head of state you have to give out the details and you have to be in a straightforward manner. So now it is important to note that the data regarding abduction can be dynamic, and figures reported by different organizations may vary slightly depending on the period they cover and the cases they have documented. But even if there is a dynamic change, you can clearly see that as a head of state, you can clearly come out and say that this and this and this happened, and who abducted these people, and how many were them, and how many have been released. So you can clearly see that this government we are having now, it is a totally rogue regime, because how is it possible that a head of state is coming out just to say that those who have been abducted, they were released and now safely reunited with their families? So it is a very, very ironically. And now Kenyans are asking, Mr. President, if you are saying now that they were released, so you have to come out even to say who are those people abducting the Kenyans. So now I want us to watch the video of Ruto saying that the abductees were freely released and safely reunited with their family. But before we watch the video, if you have not subscribed the channel, take a second, subscribe the channel, and if you have subscribed, take a second, like the video. If you have liked the video, you automatically support the channel. So now let us watch the video, then we proceed.
Your Excellency President William Ruto, what is the Kenyan government doing to ensure such violations will not happen again?
Thank you very much for asking that question. I know that it will be a subject of discussion between my guest here with members of the civil society and other members of the Kenyan society. The statistics are arguable this way or the other way, but that does not take away from the issues that have been raised around what happened on the dates you have mentioned. There are three things that I can speak to it. Number one is that there is an accountability mechanism to make sure that that situation is attended to, and a proper accountability mechanism is put in place. That's number one. Number two is the fact that I undertook to the country that being a democracy, and robustly so, that Kenyans must not, as has happened in the past, where Kenyans disappeared and their bodies were found in all manner of places, that will not happen under my administration. And all the people who disappeared or who were abducted in what you said, all of them have been brought back to their families and to their homes. And I have given clarity and firm instructions that nothing of that kind of nature will happen again, and that it was my commitment as I became president that extrajudicial disappearances of Kenyans will not be part of what we are doing as a nation.
So now, as you watch the video, you can clearly see that now Ruto is losing the ground, because as a head of state, you have to come out clearly and have such a straight information, not just coming out to throw words. Aliulizwa tu vizuri, but juu ni president mwenye yeye anajibu the way ana think, yeye alikama out tu na kujibu hivyo na kutuacha hivyo in an ironically way. So now, what's your opinion on these comments of William Ruto regarding the abductions? Drop it at the comment section. Otherwise, thank you so much for great support. If you're watching the video, don't forget to like the video. And if you have not subscribed the channel, take a second, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, thank you so much. My name is Dips Updates. Thank you so much. Let's meet in another video.